Canelo Alvarez just punched someone at the airport.
Van a recibir su premio y les pedimos por favor que
At first, people weren't sure who the mystery figure was until an airport staff member let the cat out of the bag to the media. To everyone's surprise, it turned out to be none other than Terence Crawford. I mean, it's quite controversial. You see, Crawford has been making headlines lately with his bold statements about challenging Canelo Alvarez to a professional fight. Crawford's recent interviews made it clear that he's eager to face the Mexican superstar in the ring.
Canelo's going to bring way more to my legacy, way more to my bank account.
Crawford was excited for this match, and when the two unexpectedly crossed paths at the airport, it seemed like fate was stepping in. However, things didn't go as Crawford might have hoped. Witnesses at the scene reported that the encounter quickly turned physical, with Canelo landing a punch on Crawford. Basically, Crawford just got bullied. Even though the airport incident didn't go in his favor, Bud Crawford still has a chance to prove himself. The two boxing giants are set to clash this September in Las Vegas, a fight that fans are already calling one of the biggest in recent history. Shortly after the altercation, Canelo, the unified super middleweight champion, wasted no time moving forward. He was spotted in London, meeting with Turki Al-Sheikh.
Have you spoke with Turkey about that show?
Yeah,
about Canelo?
we know each other. We don't talk that much for make a deal and anything, but we now know each other, and we'll see what happens.
Now, this has quickly become one of the most talked about events in boxing. A post on X, formerly known as Twitter, caught everyone's attention when it shared exciting news. Originally written in Spanish, the post was translated to English, and fans could hardly believe their eyes. The message confirmed what many had been hoping for. The fight between these two champions is no longer just a rumor. After weeks of speculation, it's going to be real, and boxing fans are just counting down the days. It's a clever decision by Canelo to face Crawford in September. Why? Because Crawford hasn't been in the ring for a long time. Taking on an opponent who might be a bit rusty gives Canelo an advantage. Bud hasn't fought since August 3rd. His last match was a close win against WBA junior middleweight champion Israel Madrimov. That long break from fighting could mean Crawford isn't at his sharpest. Choosing this timing, Canelo is making a smart move. He knows that every little edge counts in a fight, and facing Crawford after such a long layoff might just tilt the odds in his favor. So, Bud might finally get his chance for payback after the airport incident, if he can pull off a shocking win against someone like Canelo. That's a big if, though, because, let's be honest, Canelo's experience is unmatched. Crawford may have a flawless boxing record, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's on Canelo's level just yet. Sure, his record shows skill and determination, but fighting Canelo is a whole different challenge. While Crawford's talent could make an impact, there's still a gap to bridge. Canelo's years of experience and success against top-tier opponents give him a solid edge. Now that the fight is set, many boxing experts think Crawford won't take any risky matches before facing Canelo in September. That would be good, since losing or getting hurt could ruin his chances for this big event. Another thing to consider is that Crawford will turn 38 on September 28th. Waiting until then means Canelo is giving Crawford more time to age. This could give Canelo an extra advantage in the ring. This fight is being called Crawford's golden parachute payday, a huge reward before he possibly steps away from boxing. But then again, the timing is way too off, and it only favors the Mexican. From May to September might not seem like a long time, but for someone like Crawford, who's nearing 40, it can feel like forever. People often start to notice big changes in their strength and endurance as they age, especially around 38. Still, Crawford might not care too much about that. He could just be focused on getting his big payday. Some experts think it would be smart for Crawford to take a tune-up fight at 168 pounds before facing Canelo. It would help him get comfortable in the new weight class. But that's a risky move. At 37, Crawford has been fighting less often, with just one fight a year since 2020. His last opponent, Madrimov, gave him a tough time, and some even say he almost lost that fight. So, while preparation might sound like a good idea, the risks are too high. One misstep could ruin everything. Staying safe until the big fight might be the best choice for Bud, even if it means stepping into the ring with less practice in the new division. Crawford's best plan right now is to focus all his energy on preparing for his fight with Canelo. Taking on another opponent before then could be a dangerous gamble that puts everything at risk. Even his coach, Brian "Bo-Mac" McIntyre, agrees that skipping extra fights is the smartest move. The stakes are just too high for mistakes. But it's not so simple. Coach McIntyre is trying to convince Crawford to stick to the safer path. The problem? Crawford doesn't want to wait. He's eager to get into the ring and face someone before the big match with Canelo. It's like he has something to prove and wants to stay sharp. Let's shift our focus to the Mexican fighter Canelo. He might have a big unification fight against IBF super middleweight champion William Skull in May, around the Cinco de Mayo weekend. While this is just a guess for now, if it happens, it would be a huge opportunity for Canelo. Winning this fight would make him a two-time undisputed champion at 168 pounds, which would be a major achievement. If this fight takes place, it's going to be exciting for both fighters. But for Crawford, this means more work ahead. To face Canelo, Crawford would need to gain some extra strength and size. We've seen him struggle a bit when he faced Madrimov, looking smaller and weaker than usual. So, for Crawford to stand a real chance against Canelo, he would have to bulk up and prepare even more. It's going to be a tough challenge for him. But if anyone can rise to the occasion, it's Crawford. Still, this fight with Canelo will be a big test of his skills and strength. Now, for the fans who remember how Crawford performed in his fights at 147 against Errol Spence, David Shawn Porter, or Kell Brook, I hate to disappoint you, but he doesn't look like that anymore. Terence has aged, and he's not doing himself any favors by only fighting once a year. If he had fought more regularly and taken on different opponents, he wouldn't be at such a disadvantage in the fight against Canelo. Of course, if there's anyone to blame, Crawford only has himself to blame. If he truly wanted to, he could have fought someone to get ready. But now it's too late to take a last-minute fight just to prepare for Canelo. This is the big fight that boxing fans and Crawford have been waiting for, and now it looks like it's finally happening. The question is whether Crawford can make up for the tough situation Canelo put him in, or if the Mexican fighter will once again walk away with a win and a smile. So, what do you think about this fight? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.